Like, what the hell is going to happen in the next few months? It's going to be insane.
A Shogun.
Oh yeah,
I was working on it today. Oh my god! That might be why. What would you call it? Your magnum opus? That might be mine. It's a fucking monster. I love it. I think Shogun is amazing.
X28 isn't your magnum opus? You're gonna say Shogun's your magnum opus?
Maybe. I mean, with Shogun, we might be able to build Shogun on each chain on X28. That's something I'm thinking about, and then have it cooperate with the Ethereum version somehow. Oh, I'm still kind of like thinking through that. But Shogun in of itself as a protocol, ooh, I like it.
Can you tell us anything new about it? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's a combination of a bunch of stuff. So Steve got me inspired with the perpetual auctions, and then I also got inspired by Element 280. I have some crazy ideas. So Shogun will be paired with everything in the ecosystem. It will have a buy and sell tax, and the buy and sell tax, half will be burned, half will go towards the perpetual vault. So the vault will be fed from stuff outside of the buy and burn. That's one element of it. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. So there's going to have a lot of thick liquidity pools, very, very thick liquidity pools, similar to Vault with all the Build on Titanx ecosystem projects. It's going to be all paired. So even all the Vault pillars and stuff are going to get paired with Shogun. And there's another part, an infrastructure part that I'm working through now, like with the arbitrage thing. Yeah, I'm like 85% there with the game theory. I'm like mapping everything out, creating diagrams, running some numbers. But I'm excited for Shogun. It's the goal is to make it one of the biggest Titanx burners. It could be bigger than Hydra relatively quickly.
Do you have an idea how
and it's
much?
Hyperinflationary.
Yeah. Do you have an idea how much the buy and sell tax is going to be?
8% is what I'm leaning
8%.
at because
yeah, of course.
What I've noticed, it was either 2.8 or 8. But then what I noticed, because I'm a user of Element 280, and I don't mind paying the 16%. I'm like, up. It's fine. It's a hyperinflationary token. It's like it's fine. It's like a secondary thought, especially if you can mint it without paying the fees. Like with Shogun, you're going to be able to enter the auction and essentially get Shogun without having to pay the transfer tax. So people can still build big positions. It's only when they exit that they really that they'll feel it, but they won't feel it if they're up. Similar to Element 280, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to profit. Who cares about a little transfer fee?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of 8% because it's going to have paired with everything in the ecosystem. The arbitrage bots on Ethereum are heavy. It's like big amounts constantly. It's like it buys $500, then runs routes to repair it, then leaves with like $2 of profit. But while doing that, it's generating like $1,000 of volume for the token. And then if you have 8% tax on that, the arbitrage bot maybe makes $2 of like profit on Ethereum. But it also has to buy Titanx first. So all these arbitrages buy Titanx and then sell it for like a 2% profit. But they generate all this volume throughout the ecosystem. Which then feeds back in through Titan farms, etc. So it's actually arbitrage bots are actually net positive for our ecosystem, even though they run away with 2% profit or 1% or whatever. But every time they do that, if they pay an 8% tax, let's say they do the routing with like $1,000 to make $7, that's $80 feeding the vault and burning Shogun with every orb that happens.
That amounts up to a lot quickly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember when we've first started with Morpheus and doing the game theory and everything and trying to figure everything out, we were thinking of a sell tax as well. And then we wanted to implement, if you would wanted to sell Morpheus, you would have a sell tax. And it would be negated if you would put it in a V3 liquidity position. So we would incentivize people to do crypto correctly and exit crypto correctly. So if they did it correctly, you would circumvent the 8% or whatever amount of sell tax that was on the token. But in the end, we went a different way.
Yeah.
But it's a really good way
one
to
of the issues.
incentivize.
One of the issues with only sell tax is it's massively easy to circumvent.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of just transfer. You do it on everything: buy, sell, transfers. Yeah, because Element 280 wanted to do only sell tax as well. and I convinced you to do only fully transfer, because otherwise it's way too easy to game and it's like impossible to keep track of. Because if you do only sell tax, for example, it checks the pool that it's selling into to do the tax on. But if you do, somebody can create another pool, and then you have to like put that pool into the check, and then they start another pool, put that pool into the check, and then before you know it, every transfer, buy or sell of your token has massive amount of gas fees because it needs to check against 80 pools. So it's like it's not future proof. So yeah, it's going to be an all around tax.
So it's going to be kind of like a Volt E280 hybrid, and the value proposition is perpetual auctions similar to Volt. Is it going to be as aggressive as Volt, or have you thought about the percentages yet?
Yeah, it's going to be similar, but I have tweaks on it.
Is this coming before X28 or after?
Before, probably. I don't think this will take that long to build.
Ooh.
How close is X28? Because it's not easy to do things on the.
Oh, it's done. Yeah, I built
Really?
this. I built this a while ago. Yeah,
Golly, dude, people
I just
have
need to do my second audit.
Let's
Let's go.
Oh my land.
Yeah,
Let's go.
X28 has been built for like 2 months now. First audit is already done. That was finished like 2 months ago, 0 issues. So I do want to do a second audit just to be sure. But yeah, X28 is done. Has been done for like
So
2 months.
November 28 for Shogun, December 28 for X28.
Oh, we lost to launch Shogun then, but it depends on building because the code is not that complicated. I don't think it's that hard, so I don't think it should be. Titanx was confusing as fuck, but since Shogun has no staking, etc., it should be relatively simple. So I don't think the build will take too long on that. And the UI, I do the UI, and I'm fast as fuck. Just give me a coffee and I'm good to go. Coffee in half a day, baby. Let's get it.
Coffee and a nicotine gum, and let's go.
Jake, why?
All right.
Why did you decide not to implement staking? Are you against
Because I
it?
want people to dump on hyperdeflationary things. I want people out. So instead of like having them, because Eric talks about this a lot. Because with staking, you keep lettuce hands in, so then they become lettuce later on at like higher prices. Staking gets people itchy, which creates way better price charts because then you get lettuce hands out quicker. So you can create way stronger price floors. You have stronger hands, especially on hyperdeflationary things, because lettuce hands can get relatively big as supply starts to dwindle. So yeah, no staking. And I also want to do some cool thing. Actually, yeah, another thing that Shogun will do, since all the pairs will be V2, since we have a tax, all the build on Titanx protocols will essentially have an extra supply sink built on them with all the volume that Shogun is generating to that pair. Every time they do that, the fees get locked in the V2 pools. So all the build on Titanx will have extra supply sink of all the tokens. All of them. So more fees as well.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Dude, if you could teleport right now a year